All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Athlete Artist Show. I am the artist Kyle Forge alongside my co-host, professional hockey player Zach Boychuk. And today we've got a very special guest in the building, the Penny Dell Championship. Chucky fresh off the win, third championship in 4 years for Berlin. What's the trophy called, Chucky?
It just says Deutschermeister 2024. I don't think there's an actual name, but we call it the Penny Dell Cup.
You've won so many of them, you just don't even know anymore, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
How's the celebration been? How were the finals? How did it feel clinching the third chip in 4 years with the same team? Dynasty.
Yeah, a little bit of a dynasty in the making. Obviously this year was pretty special. We had a really good group of guys, and we ended up taking down the Fishtown Penguins, who I think everybody kind of thought were going to beat us in the finals. And I was just like pumped. Like my dad was able to fly over and watch all four wins, and
That's
my
sweet.
girlfriend came on the road with all the wives and girlfriends, and we got it done in Fishtown in Bremerhaven, and haven't haven't stopped partying since.
That's unreal, man. It looked like it looked like you kind of dominated that last series too for the most part. I mean, what was it? It was a 4-1 series final.
Yeah, I think it was closer than a 4-1 series. There was an overtime game there, and then a couple other like really close games. I think our goalie kind of saved us a couple games, and we were just getting timely goals, especially on the power play. So that's kind of what you need come playoff time, especially over here on the big ice. Like if your power play is not doing
Yeah,
good, it's hard to score goals.
that's fair. So you guys won it on the road then, hey?
Yeah, we won
What?
it in Fishtown, and
Yeah.
the team was awesome. They organized a train for all the girlfriends and wives to come. My dad actually drove our like Ice Baron car up there, and the team got all everybody like hotel rooms for after the game just in case we won. And
Yeah.
we went and had an awesome celebration on the ice, then in the locker room, and then to the hotel after before we took our jet home and met all the fans when we came back to Berlin.
Was this so out of the three championships that you guys have won in Berlin, were how many of them were at home? How many of them were away? Or like how
The
many were
first one was the first one was COVID, so there was no
Oh,
fans in the
right.
building at all, and we won that one at home.
I
So it was
remember that
literally
one.
there was just girlfriends and wives at the game. It was basically like, and we weren't. I don't think we were supposed to have anybody at that game, but we were like, this is a championship game, like winner take all. So like they had like a little suite where they got to sit and come down, and it was just like us celebrating at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, now Uber Arena, but that was the only one that we got to win at home. The other two, one was in Munich and one was in Bremerhaven. So kind of different, but it would have been nice to win at home in front of the fans and party until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning at Uber Arena. Like I did that in Bern when we won at home, and there was 20,000 fans. They stayed until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It was honestly insane.
Holy. That's nuts, man. It looked like quite the welcome home when you guys got back. Like it's straight to a parade. It looked like fans everywhere, just thousands of people crowded the streets, and then all weekend. I think it was today or yesterday. I saw you guys had a huge event. It looked like an outdoor music festival, like just to watch you guys lift the chip. Like it looks insane down there right now.
Yeah, honestly, like they completely filled this Uberplatz area where it was, 5, 6,000 people. Um,
Jeez.
just a huge party. We come in on the bus. There's like fireworks going off, like sparklers, like and everybody's just drinking, having a good time and celebrating the record Meister, which is we won the tenth championship in 30 years, which is the best in the league. So pretty
Wow.
cool to be part of this organization.
That's sweet, man. Kind of goes back to what you said, I guess, I think it was in the first episode of this season. Like Berlin, just a championship every 3 years they expect, like nothing but the best from the team. And I mean, I feel like 100% you guys have reached the dynasty level now. If you weren't before, for sure.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty much a championship every 2 years because I think the first one they won wasn't until 2004. So the last
Oh,
20
okay.
years, they have 10 championships. So it's literally
Wow,
you're pretty much expected to win every 2 years.
that's insane.
Yeah, quite a run for Berlin hockey.
So what's next for Berlin? Was this your final year on the contract? Are you looking to stay, or I don't know how much you can talk about it on in public, but
Yeah, right now I'm basically just celebrating the championship. Hanging out with all the guys. A lot of guys had talked and got contract extensions during the season, and we decided to wait till after playoffs. Considering my age and everything that comes along with that. So oldest guy on the team. Pretty crazy to win a championship, being the oldest guy on the team, and now we'll have our exit meetings, and I'll talk to the GM tomorrow actually, and hopefully it'd be nice to come back for another year and try and win another championship.
you're only what, 33 or 34?
Yeah, I'm
And you're
almost 35, so 30 coming up on 35 here pretty soon. But yeah, that it
that's crazy.
seems
That's not that
still
old
seems
at
like it
all.
shouldn't be the oldest guy on the team, but
Yeah, no kidding. There's no Yoggers down in the Dell League, hey? No guys still playing when
no,
they're 60.
it's I think the oldest guy in the league is maybe like 39. There's no 50-year-olds like Yogs.
That's crazy, man. What an experience though, hey? Like it's got to be pretty cool to be a part of an organization like that, and not only the winning, but like just the support in general from the fans, like we've talked about before, and that city in general. It looks like the teams are so involved in the community, and the community really loves you guys, and it's like you guys are superstars down there for sure.
Yeah, it really feels like the NHL. Like I think you know people don't really understand like what it's like to play hockey in Europe, and especially for a big club like Berlin. And there's so many good leagues over here. There's so many great organizations, and I honestly, when I went over to Europe, I didn't know what to expect. I started in Russia and then went to Switzerland, and been bouncing around and going to a bunch of different countries, and I just felt that I just got so lucky that COVID year that Berlin called my name, and Serge Aubin, he gave me a call on the phone. It was like, random time. I think like I was waking up, and he called me and he said like we really want you to come, and it was, looking back now, it's one of the best phone calls that I could have ever asked for, because German hockey is unbelievable and everything's growing here, and I would have never expected to play in such a nice city here in front of 16,000 fans every night, and then win 3 out of 4 years.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. I mean, it's been awesome just watching your journey down there, and like a huge year for you this year too. I mean, you were I think you were top 10 in scoring in the league at least for the entire year. Hey, like just a
Yeah, I
big
was pretty much
offensive.
leading the league most of the year in goals, and then a young German guy kind of caught up to me at the end. Maybe it was my old age kind of pitted out a little bit at the end, but yeah, it was a really good season for me personally, and obviously as a team. Being first or second place pretty much the whole year, so it was a definitely a awesome way to end it to get the championship.
And like a huge bounce back year for the team too. I mean, we talked about it I think last episode. But now that you guys have won, it just kind of solidifies it. Winning, going back to back like that, and then last year missing playoffs, and then coming right back this year, the guys rebuying in and making that push, coming in second in the league, and then finishing the league on top with the championship again. It's pretty incredible that you guys were able to do that, bouncing back from
Yeah,
missing last year.
I think we had to go through that. It's something that you get a little bit comfortable after winning two championships, and you have a hard year like last year where you don't make the playoffs for the first time in Berlin's history.
Oh
It
wow,
was
I
it
didn't
was a
know
tough,
that.
yeah, it was a tough pill to swallow, but we definitely wouldn't have won it this year without learning and going through what we did last year. And obviously, we made some great additions, but a lot of the core is from the first 2 years and even from last year where we struggled. So to see our guys, bounce back like that, it just goes to show that all the great things that are in that locker room and the culture that's been built over the last few years and how well they treat us. And yeah, it's been a fun journey here, that's for sure.
That's awesome, man. How long are you guys staying down there until you head back to? I mean, I guess the team in general until you guys head back to wherever the team, most of the guys are from. Like yourself, obviously here, but I'm sure you guys have some other imports too.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys leaving this weekend. There's a few guys sticking around for a couple weeks. They're gonna go travel, go to Italy, go to Paris, kind of go all over the place and celebrate it a little bit. But
Yeah,
we're gonna get back, I think, on Saturday, and it'll be nice to come back and see the family and
yeah.
get get back to Calgary, God's country. My girlfriend's dogs are there too, so we haven't seen them in a while, and
Oh shit.
um, now we can do some live podcasts and live streams and get betting on some good hockey games here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, man. I mean, man, it sounds like it's such a cool experience being in Berlin. Cool organization. I mean, the crowd's great for the family too. That's really cool that your family got to come down and watch. I mean, I know your girlfriend's been there for I think majority of the season, if not the entire season. But your dad getting to go down there and watch you win the championship, that's really cool.
Yeah, we got a great picture together on the ice, him lifting the cup, and it just seemed like he was so excited to be over there. There was two or three other dads as well that came to Fishtown, and um, it was just like a good bonding moment for them just to be there. And I think all the hard work that they've put throughout the years, and to be able to celebrate a championship with us, to have my dad there was all time.
Did he go? Was he able to see the year after COVID, or is this the first time he got to go down there?
He's been here two or three times now, but never for the playoffs and never
Okay.
for the championship. So this, like, he made it. He basically told everybody on the team because he was here in Christmas time, and he said, if you guys make the finals, especially against Bremerhaven, I'm gonna book a flight and come watch you guys. So we made it to the finals, and he booked his flight, like he said, true to his word, and we needed his help because we lost that first game and he wasn't there. And then the day he got here, we won four straight. So pretty
Oh,
good.
that's unreal. Good luck charm.
Yeah, exactly.
How are there any more like team celebrations this week, or is the city is like does the city planned anything else, or have you guys kind of finished all of those events?
Yeah, we have a team sponsored dinner tonight with Gas Egg, our main sponsor. So it'll be a nice fancy dinner with the
Sweet.
cup, and then tomorrow we're going to see the mayor downtown. So that's kind of our last hurrah, last before all the German guys. There's a bunch of guys going to the World Championships on Saturday. I think we have like five or six guys going, and our
Oh,
head
sick.
coach is going to the Czech Republic too. So tomorrow is kind of our last day to celebrate together.
How many guys are looking to are staying on the team? Like how if you go back to Berlin next year, is the core pretty much gonna still be the same, or
Yeah,
'cause
I think our goalies are pretty much the same. Our defense is going to change a little bit, and then most of the forwards are back. So we definitely have
sweet.
a strong group again next year, and definitely I'd love to be a part of it and try and go back to back.
That's unreal, man. Congratulations again on that. That's a huge victory for you. I mean, it's like your 19th championship overall. So, I mean, you're probably used to it for the most part, but I'm sure the feeling never gets old.
Yeah, the rings are starting to fill out almost the two hands now, so I just got to keep that going. However many years I have left playing.
I mean, that's a little different from teams like the Maple Leafs. If they get bounced out tonight, that team might get blown up. So, I mean, let's just transition right into that. I mean, now Penny Dell's done. You guys have won your championships, and we got the Stanley Cup still to go. a little bit through the first round here. Already a couple teams eliminated. I mean, Washington got swept. A lot of teams were down 3-2 coming into today. The Leafs were one of the ones that were able to live another day somehow without Matthews, Nylander kind of coming back in. What are your thoughts on that Leafs Bruins series so far?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be golfing here pretty soon. I'll be honest. I was surprised they won the last game without Matthews, and Boston's just kind of owned them over the last few years. So there's a lot of teams golfing here pretty soon. Tampa, that one was a pretty quick
Yeah,
series. Tough to see with Stamkos, kind of could be his last hurrah there, and I hope he gets to go back because he's the captain of that team and kind of the heart and soul. But then, yeah, Winnipeg, they're golfing. We got a lot of teams that got bounced pretty quick. Washington, so. I want to see at least a couple game sevens coming here the next week.
for sure. I mean, there's been a lot of drama, so to speak, in the Leafs Bruins series with Nylander missing the first couple of games, Matthews missing the last one, sorry, and then Marner's been getting a lot of heat too. Not battling for the pucks. I don't know how many points he's had, but it took him a couple games to even get on the board. It seemed like, and a lot of guys are giving him a hard time. I think it was the Toronto Sun that put out the paper or the article that was like the Invisible Man. The guy's one of their leading scorers throughout the season and just disappears during the playoffs. So I mean, what are your thoughts on Marner? Do you think he needs to be putting in effort, or do you think he just needs a scenery change, or what are your thoughts there as coming from a player standpoint?
Yeah, I mean it just seems like that core four just can't put it all together at the same time, especially in the playoffs. They kill it in the regular season. Obviously you need a guy like Marner to be setting up Matthews, especially on the power play. But if you can't get it done in the playoffs, at some point, I feel like they're just gonna have to blow up that team. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens if they can come back after being down 3-1 and shut up all the haters. But there's just weird stuff going on. Guys are sick, they're missing games, and nobody knows why. There's just like a whole bunch of uh, foggy kind of craziness going on. But I don't see them bouncing back from it.
That's a good point to bring up there. Like I kind of got into it, not really got into it, but went back and forth with Scotty Upshaw on Twitter. Him and O'Brien talked about it on missing curfew too. But what do you think should be the protocol when it comes to the NHL announcing injuries during playoffs? I mean, coming from their side, it comes from a gambling standpoint. Like people betting on games, they want to be able to know the injuries, so because they're putting their money on the games. I personally feel like that's irrelevant towards the playoffs. I mean, I think as a team, as the guys like yourselves that are actually trying on the ice trying to win the championships, you don't really want that stuff getting out there because you look at a couple years ago, Draisaitl when he was having ankle problems, you see the Flames hacking at his ankles on the ice. Injuries like that could get worse or guys can target during the playoffs. I think that they should consider that and maybe not put those out there because a lot of the times the guys, I mean, are playing with torn ACLs or broken ribs or, broken jaws are a little bit easier to see because they have the bubble or the cage on, but other stuff that maybe aren't as visible or aren't as known. I just, in my opinion, I don't think they should be putting that out there for the playoffs. What are your thoughts on that coming from a player and a guy that also likes to gamble as well?
Yeah, I think it really like depends what it is. I think like a lot of this stuff just seems like there's kind of weird unknown illnesses or whatever it is, but maybe it actually is a serious injury and you don't want everybody to know that you have a bad shoulder or a bad knee or whatever it is. So like maybe they're just gonna say it's migraines or just make something up. So I think that part of it is Toronto's kind of looking at it as a business standpoint. They want to win. It sucks for the gambling people who are trying to bet on the games, especially when you got to wait to see if Matthews is playing or Nylander's playing, and you just have no clue. So it's I can see both sides of it, but like we've seen it over here too. Like there's lots of guys playing through injuries, especially come playoff time. You don't want to tell anybody. You don't like. There's guys that like if you can keep it away even from some of your close friends or family, because as people talk, and
Yeah.
if a girlfriend's talking to another girlfriend from another team and figures out, oh, this is what's wrong with them, like that stuff spreads around and can get out into the media and can get out to some of the other players, and yeah, that's where you see guys hacking at Draisaitl's ankle or whatever it is. So I think if you're a true hockey fan, you should understand that things should be kept under wraps. It doesn't matter about your bet that much.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that too, man. I mean, you'd hate to see guys getting worse injuries out there in playoffs. I mean, I think the focus should be on the boys winning the championship or want playing their hardest to make it further in the playoffs, and not so much on worried about, oh, are the gambling people going to be happy. I think it should be about the sport and the league. And the gambling, obviously it produces a lot of money for the league, but I mean, when the guys are getting suspended for half the season for some side bets, then I don't think that the boys really give a shit what the gambling people have to say when they're not getting any personal money from it.
Yeah, definitely not. It's definitely like a weird subject right now because
For sure.
gambling has become so popular, and you're seeing it all over the TVs now, and hopefully, people are betting responsibly and kind of doing it more for fun. But yeah, there's people that are hardcore and they're taking it as a business too. So they want to know all the inside info, but um, it's still a game. It's 50-50. Even, everybody probably thought that Boston would have won with no Matthews, but
Yeah.
Toronto got a pretty good record without Matthews too. So it's in the end, I don't love gambling on NHL playoffs just because you can see it now. Like an 8 seed can win.
Yeah.
We talked about it in our recent podcast. You see Vegas right now, like they were up 2-0, and now they've just lost, I think, 3 games straight. So it's totally 50-50. It scares me betting on these games.
Our sponsor for this episode is Overtime Markets, the top Web3 sportsbook. Overtime is an industry leading sports betting platform where users can immerse themselves in the thrilling world of sports. Leveraging the benefits of decentralization and blockchain technology, Overtime leads the charge in sports innovation, all while offering fans juicy money rewards on major sporting events. Overtime supports all the major leagues and utilizes advanced smart contracts to ensure an elevated user experience. Discover the future of sports betting at overtimemarkets.xyz, where sports and blockchain converge. And the Preds staying alive too, forcing a game six. Like, no, I don't think many people would have thought the Preds were going to give Vancouver any sort of run for their money. I mean, I wrote them off our first episode. I said they had no chance, and I'm a Predators fan. I thought Vancouver was going
Yeah.
to walk them.
Yeah, and then Demko going out, you thought that was going to
Yes.
help them for sure. And then Vancouver squeaks out a win that they probably shouldn't even have won anyways. But
Yeah, with their
yeah, it's
third string goalie.
I th I think Nashville is definitely outplaying them. They're just not getting the bounces.
Yeah, there's been some crazy games. Like it happened in the LA Oilers series too, right before the Oilers kind of clinched that, and then one of the Vancouver Nashville series where there was 12, 13 shots on net for the Oilers and the Canucks, and they still figured out a way to win this game. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, I don't know how these teams are winning when you only get 13 shots a game, but yeah, it's that's playoff hockey for you. The 1-0 games, 2-1 games, and you get to see who the real clutch guys are and clutch teams. Like look at Colorado right now; they're just
Yeah.
unstoppable. I'm looking forward to seeing the next couple rounds. There's going to be some good matchups.
Yeah, that's the beauty about hockey is I mean, we talked about this a couple of times throughout our years too. I mean, it's not like the NBA. One or two superstars or a big three isn't necessarily gonna guarantee you a road to the finals. I mean, these teams that you never know what's going to happen, whether it's the injuries or whether it's just a team buying in more than the other team, or a team getting complacent because they ran through the regular season. You never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of it, but it's also the tough part about it as a fan, because you expect your team to go far sometimes, and you see it with the Flames in recent years a bunch. Coming in first in the Western Conference or the Pacific Division, they get bounced in the first round or get swept. It's like you never know what's gonna happen. It provides a lot of disappointment for the fans and the players obviously too, but it's also, and that's also the exciting thing about hockey.
Oh, for sure. I mean, who's your big winner right now after the first 10 days? Like, do you think Florida is looking good, or what's your thoughts right now? Obviously, Rangers were kind of hot that series, but
Yeah.
they're gonna run into Carolina coming up. So who's your after the first 10 days? Who you liking right now?
Man, I mean, it's tough to go against that Florida team. I think they're right back to where they pretty much left off last year in the playoffs. Just I mean, this could be their year. They went through that adversity last year and losing in the finals, and after pretty much dominating the entire playoffs. And coming in this year, they go right back to a Tampa Bay Lightning team that arguably shouldn't even have been a wild card team. Depending on how the playoffs are structured, but that's a 4-1 series between two of the best teams in the league. Tampa's been a dynasty the past few years, and Florida just came in there and stomped them. So it's tough to look past that Florida team. Boston, Toronto, obviously is it's tough to look past Boston, but I don't think they have the firepower that Florida does this year. In the West, I mean, the West I think can be a crapshoot. It depends if Edmonton gets past I guess Edmonton got past the Kings last night, so depending who they're going to be playing in the next round. But it's tough to look past that Colorado team too. I think I picked Vegas in our first podcast, but I mean, that Colorado team is pretty solid. What about yourself?
Yeah, I feel like the West is going to be tough to see who wins that, because you got Dallas coming on,
Yeah,
Colorado, Edmonton's power play is obviously insane right now, and they're obviously looking to bounce back from a terrible start to the season, and they handled the Kings pretty quickly. But I'm definitely Florida was my original pick out of the East. I think I'm sticking with that.
yeah.
But I still like Edmonton in the West, but Colorado for sure scares me.
Yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Let me just look at the bracket real quick. So Edmonton playing
Yep.
Vancouver next.
Yeah, if
Man,
Vancouver goes by.
that's yeah, if Vancouver shuts up or shuts out, finishes off Nashville, man, that could be a crazy series. Vancouver, Edmonton in the playoffs.
Yeah, that'll
You,
be unreal.
you got to think
Couple
that goes
Canadian
7 games.
teams going at it.
You got to think that would go 7 games, eh? I mean,
Yeah, if they
bearing,
get their
yeah,
goalie back and they play like they did throughout the season, I think Vancouver's obviously proving a lot of people wrong right now, and
yeah.
they're winning with a second string goalie, third string goalie, whatever you want to call it, and just goes to show their superstars are finding ways to score big goals right now.
Man, that goaltending could hurt Vancouver against a McDavid and a Draisaitl if they don't. I mean, Nashville's one thing, but Nashville doesn't have two of the best players in the world on offense, especially on power play. Like arguably the one of the best power plays in the history of hockey.
Yeah, you
If
got
you
to
don't have your
stay out
goaltending,
of the box against them, or you have no chance.
especially when you're riding a third string tendy potentially.
Yeah.
um, Other news, the Arizona heading to Utah. We talked about that, but now I heard that Utah may run with the Utah Hockey Club name for the first year at least. What do you think about that, Chucky?
Yeah, I think that's pretty brutal. I mean, it was nice that they had all the players fly down there and kind of do their whole introduction, but they got to have a name for these guys, especially come training camp. And I think the Washington team did that a couple of years ago, and
In the
they
NFL, yeah.
just seems like why not just pick something and go with it like right away.
Yeah, I said the boys looked like the PWHL team strolling into Utah with just the NHL Utah logo, like how all the PW teams are looking.
Yeah,
That
seriously.
wasn't a bash at women's hockey. It was just a chirp at the fact none of them have names. But I don't think that can happen in the NHL, man. Like I thought it was dumb when the Washington football team did that. It's just I don't know. It's just they got to figure something out. That if you could figure out a deal to buy an NHL team for $1 billion that quickly, you can figure out a name and a jersey by the time preseason comes around. I'm not saying it has to be ready for the draft in 2 months, but by the time the season comes around, I think they got to have that ready to go.
Yeah, I saw them like putting a vote out and stuff and a bunch of different examples, but yeah,
Yeah.
at some point somebody's got to put the hammer down and pick a team name.
Do you have any names that stuck out to you that you think fit the best?
I like the Mammoths, I think.
Okay. Mammoth is a good
Something
one.
wintry for sure.
The Yeti was a good one too. I saw that one. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty good.
I wish they were going with Salt Lake as the team name or as the city though, not Utah as where they're from. But I think like Salt Lake City, maybe Salt Lake City Yeti doesn't really have a ring to it, or Salt Lake City Mammoth doesn't flow as well as Utah. But it would just be cool to saying we're playing Salt Lake this week.
That'd be a little better for sure, but they got to include everybody in Utah, I
For
guess.
sure. Yeah. And I mean, Utah Jazz is there already. So, I mean, it makes sense just having it, especially under one owner, just having it kind of cohesive. But, I mean, they're still getting a team, which is great for Utah and great for Salt Lake in general. So, hopefully they figure out their name and their branding. I hope I remember I hated Seattle's logo and their original logo and their name when they first came out. So, uh, I don't know what exactly my reaction is going to be when it comes to Utah and their logo. I'm sure I'll hate it at first and then kind of get used to it. But now I think Seattle has some of the best unis in the league. So, I mean, it grows on you for sure. I'm just not a big fan of change, you know?
Yeah, Seattle did a good job coming in, good colors, and hopefully Utah does the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Seattle has sick colors. Vegas, I still hate their logo. But, I mean, they won a cup. So,
Did you see the drama going on with Brind'Amour right now? They're saying that he might end up going to Seattle. That might be like a
Seattle.
breaking news, breaking rumor mill, but
Really?
it'd be pretty crazy if him and Carolina couldn't get a contract done and he goes and joins his old buddy Ron Francis in Seattle.
Man, I saw that the contract negotiations or I think an offer got rescinded from Carolina, but I didn't see that he might be going to Seattle. That's crazy.
That would be pretty wild, and that would put Seattle as a pretty cup favorite if they can bring him in, I think.
And that's kind of shitty that coming out when they're in the middle of the playoffs too.
Yeah, it's brutal. I don't know how it came out, but you see Darren Dreger tweeting about it, and you feel like whoever leaked that information, you'd want to keep that until after the playoffs is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I mean that's hopefully it didn't come from like inside someone that's super close to the team in terms of like the management or anything going on playoffs like a coaching staff or something like that, but I don't know. That's hopefully that doesn't hurt them in the playoffs. I mean that those outside things can sometimes be a distraction. I mean, I'll ask you since you obviously played in the professional hockey for a long time. How much does that stuff affect a room? Um, like outside stuff with the coach. I mean, I know like trade rumors can affect the team a lot, but how much can it affect the team when it's your coach that they're talking about?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it's easier over here in Europe because coaches and players sign contracts mid-season or will all of a sudden that you're joining another team the next season, so you're playing out the season here, or that the coach isn't going to be back at the end of the year. So it's just kind of like normalized. But I feel like in the NHL, it's kind of you don't know until the end of the year usually. And if you are leaving a team, you're probably getting traded at the deadline. Like that's just kind of the way the NHL works. And with the coach, you don't know any of that stuff until the end of the season. So to have something like that come out that he could potentially be leaving Carolina. It's just it would shake up a guy, shake up a team. It might help the team because it's your last year with Roddy. You want to win it with one of the legends of Carolina. Or it could go the other way where it's just too much of a distraction and the boys lose focus. But yeah, it's I just saw Austin Matthews is missing the game again tonight with an illness, so
No
that's
way.
pretty crazy.
Oh man, that's brutal.
He's out again.
Man, that hurts them. Fuck, I wonder what it does. It say what his illness is, or have you heard anything about what his illness could be? Like, is it flu? Is it
I don't know. It must be bad if you're
missing
missing
playoffs?
multiple games now and getting pulled mid-game.
Game 6, Toronto. They've got a chance. Force a game 7,
They
but
might. Toronto won the last game without him, and they got a good record without him. So maybe they're just trying to go with that again.
man, so what's your overtime bet then for tonight? Leafs Boston. You think Leafs force? I mean, this will come out tomorrow. So, but we'll post it today. But what's your bet? You
Yeah,
think the
I'm
Leafs
gonna
are
go. I'm gonna go Boston tonight, and
Boston?
probably an under game. I feel like the goalies are playing well right now. Obviously, I think Wool came in is playing for Toronto now, so
Yeah,
maybe he can steal a low scoring game, but I think Boston's gonna take it
he played great the other night. So
for
he
sure. Yeah,
he really uh he really stepped up for them the other night to help them force that game 6. But I have to agree with you. I got to take Boston as well. We'll take the under too, but yeah, definitely think Boston's gonna win that game. What about Friday? What games we got Friday, Chucky? We got some potential
yeah,
closeouts again here.
yeah. There's gonna be a lot of series I think coming to an end here. It's I feel like the teams that are up are the teams that are gonna close it out.
Yeah, so we got Vegas, Dallas, Canucks, Preds tomorrow night. Ooh, Dallas, 3-2 now, 3-2 series. I thought that was gonna be a Vegas win, man. That
Yeah.
comeback from Dallas is crazy.
What a turn of events. Two big road wins and then you get another win at home. So Dallas is looking strong.
I think I got to bet on Vegas there. I gotta keep my bracket alive. I gotta put my money on
Yeah,
Vegas.
they might push a game 7 for sure.
I think that's a I always underestimate Dallas though. I think it's partly because I just hate their uniforms and I just don't want to see them in the playoffs for longer than one series or longer than 4 games. But yeah, I mean they're
They
you
used
can't go
they
ahead,
used
sorry.
to be my favorite team when I was growing up. I think I was like so obsessed with Medano and Hall,
Yeah.
and obviously I was 10 years old when they won the cup in '99, so they were like my number one team that I got a jersey and everything.
That's sick, man. I've always yeah, they're back in those days, the Madonna Hall days. They're a sick team. They're a sick
Unreal,
team.
yeah.
They've had some good jerseys throughout the years too, but these bright green ones just aren't hitting it for me.
Yeah, they
Uh,
need to go back to the old ones, I think.
yeah, those old ones are sick. Uh, Preds, Canucks. I gotta put my money back on the Preds again tomorrow. Force a game 7. Maybe they'll squeak it out. Who knows? They weren't looking too good last night, but they almost dropped another chance to force to stay alive, I should say, because they're right on the ropes. 3-2 series. Can the Preds force a game 7?
I think the Preds are done, but if you want to lock that in for your parlay, I think or we both agreed on Boston. We both agreed on I think Vegas is going to push a game 7, so maybe
Yeah.
those two will be our the ones that we push out.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough call, man. It can go either way. I would like to see I'm biased again. Like from living in Nashville, I want to cheer for Nashville, but I also grew up a Flames fan, so I hate the Canucks. But I love Quinn Hughes, so I want to see Quinn Hughes do well, but I'm like, I also, I also have a feeling that Vancouver's gonna end up burning down their city again. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah,
Any,
hopefully they can avoid that this time.
yeah, hopefully. Uh, Chucky, I know you gotta return the cup. So anything else before we head out here?
No, looking forward to seeing you either this weekend or the beginning of next week. I think
Let's do it.
it's been too long being away from God's country in Canada, and it'll be nice to get back to home soil. Hopefully the snow is melted by then, and we get a lot of sunny days here.
Oh yeah, dude, it snowed again. I woke up the other day and I was like, "Are you kidding me? It's May 1st. Like, what are we doing
Oh
here?"
yeah.
It's
It's so beautiful here. Like it's been 27, 28 degrees almost every day. We were like hanging out by the pool. So to hear that it snowed back home, we're like, should we really be rushing back home? But
yeah, no
no, it'll
kidding.
be nice. It'll be nice to get back.
Might want to stay in Berlin on an extra week or two.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I could see this be the year it snows again during Stampede, but well, hopefully not. Hopefully,
Imagine that.
and hopefully bring some of that nice weather back with you. Like I brought the snow to Nashville when I left the minus
I'll see
35
what I
here.
can do.
All right, buddy. Enjoy the rest of the celebrations or enjoy the dinner tonight, and we'll
All right,
see you when
brother.
you get back.
Talk to you later.
Well, let's get a pose here with these with the chip. There we go. Smile for the camera.